Hey guys, today we're going to be doing faux freckles, yay! So we're just going to be starting out with our normal, I already did some prep work. As you can see, I'm wearing my bold lip with my bold brow. And then we're going to go straight into concealer. I'm going to be using the Master Conceal by Maybelline. And then we're just going to go ahead and start into that. I love wearing faux freckles. Especially on days where I'm like breaking out. As you can see, I'm having some breakouts because I ate too many cookies last night, let's be honest. We all have those moments. And so I'm just trying to cover up some of those dark circles. Obviously, I want to make it seem like I got a full night's sleep last night. But who does that anymore? It's like overrated. And with this concealer, I found that it works the best like when you build it. So like if you go back over it and just like pat it down. I've used a sponge before, but I've learned that I kind of like using like a synthetic concealer brush more with under eye, especially mine. So I have such dark circles, and I'm just trying to cover up those zits to get rid of the redness. Okay, moving on to my foundation, which happens to be Color Me Perfect in my own custom shade. And I'm just kind of trying to even out my skin tone. Like I'm not going for heavy coverage because I'm really trying to go for more of like a natural look. So I'm just kind of going in with my synthetic brush. It's sort of like a paintbrush. Just because I really don't want a heavy layer of foundation. I want this to look as natural as possible because I'm going to be going over with my faux freckles and really don't want to make it seem like I have a layer on my face at all. As you can see, I'm applying it to my face before sort of blending it in just so that I don't get too much, because especially if you apply your brush right into it, oftentimes you're going to get way too much buildup in your face way too quickly. Also, my skin's kind of dry right now, and I kind of did that on purpose. I just gave myself a little spray of Evian beforehand in order so that my foundation can kind of just sort of soak in, especially this kind because it has some moisturizer in it already. So it just sort of looks super sort of like natural. This, as you can see, is like really matches my neckline really well. I just moved down to Florida and I have not redeemed myself with the sun yet. I was living in Ohio where it's very gray and lack of vitamin D is very real. Anyways, okay, so now moving on, I want to use a little bit of cream contour, which with that I'm using Mist Stockholm's color in Chestnut, and that is going to be my shade for contour. I'm literally just going to be doing my cheeks using the same foundation brush, just sort of angling right on my cheeks because I want a little bit of something. I'm just sort of blending that in. This Chestnut has really a nice like sort of yellow to it, which is like perfect for my skin because it really sort of works as not only a contour but like a bit of a bronzer in a way. It like makes me look not like a ghost that I'm currently really struggling with. And I even bring it up onto my forehead a bit just to sort of get a little bit of that tan look going. And then we're going to move on to the freckle portion. which that, once again, we're using Miss Stockholm, but we're actually going to be using Airbrush foundation in their darkest shade, which is brilliant for faux freckles. You can always use just like Maybelline dark shade foundation, dark skin foundation, or you can just literally anything, and you can always, if you have sort of, like if this is your only option where you have a really thick like oil base sort of like, you know, foundation type stuff to work with, then you can always mix it with a lotion I've used, but this is absolutely my favorite. It works the best. It's definitely the most natural looking. The tool that we're going to be using today is this double-sided brow comb. I've always wondered like how often people use this. I only use this literally just for one thing, to like brush up my brows. But there's many amazing uses for this, especially with this. You're gonna want to use this sort of as like a paintbrush. So what I just did was I just sort of poured it right on the tip, just a little bit of an amount, and then what I'm going to do, this is going to get a little bit messy, so if you're wearing something nice and white, I would cover yourself because it's going to go everywhere. I've made that mistake before. And then go ahead and close your eyes, and you're just going to sort of spray on the areas that usually they're mostly freckles, so like right around the nose and the cheeks area, and then you can work your way around the face. So as you can see, it's really starting, there's some areas, like if you get really big splotches, you can go back in with a sponge and like really clean it up and make it look really nice and natural, because it is sort of like it is a foundation, so it's going to soak into your skin really nicely. So as you can see, I got way too much right there, and I'm going to go back in with probably even just like a tissue to sort of clean it up. So oftentimes I'll even bring it down onto like my neckline and chest area depending on how much I'm showing of myself with my outfit. It usually just makes it look a lot more natural. That of course is what we're supposed to be teasing people with. I had so many clients when I was working at a spa where I would wear these when I was like breaking out some days, and they'd literally be like, "Have you always had freckles?" I'm like, "No, they're fake." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're fake." People would be like, "Why do you do that?" And I was like, it's just fun, you know, self-expression, covering up zits when you don't want them to be apparent. Okay, so I'm now gonna go in with a bit of a tissue and sort of just like blot the areas that I think could be less. Except don't do what I just did and sort of smudge it around. You kind of just want to like blot it like so. And as you can see, it's really just sinking into the skin nicely. So I'm just sort of blotting at it. If you get ones that are like really just way too much, you can always go back in with a Q-tip and literally just like wipe them off. And so now I'm going to go in with my translucent powder, that is NYX Master Fix translucent powder, and my lovely powder puff, so that I can really sort of press it into my skin and make sure that they're not going to move around. Using the translucent powder really is what does it, because as you can see, like this looks so much more natural than even this side, just because it really just sort of sets it all together. And see how it even got on my eyelids because I made sure I closed my eyelids when I did that. And it looks quite natural, if I do say so myself. You can even go back in, oftentimes I'll go back in with a blush, sometimes over top, and just sort of blot it on, just to give myself a little bit of color, which I'm now using the Too Faced Chocolate Covered Strawberry. I love this palette. It's their chocolate shop palette. It smells so good. So as you can see, that really calmed it down a lot. And so this is my official faux freckle look. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.